Hey, what's up, y'all? This your big homie, Big Mike checking in. Hey, what's good, y'all? This your big homie, Big Mike checking in. Real Talk TV. Hey, yo, what's up, family? This your man, your big homie, Big Mike checking in. Real Talk TV. Big Mike checking in. Real Talk TV. Hey, what's up, you guys? Big Mike checking in, Real Talk TV. Hey, thanks to you guys for tuning into the video. I appreciate it. And yeah, so let's get right into it, you guys. So I'm going to talk to you guys in this video about marriage and one thing I've learned in my time being married. Now, real quick, if this offends anyone, I don't know what to tell you. You are free to leave. Doesn't bother me one bit. Because I may say some things that some people may disagree with, and that's totally okay with me. It's just my humble belief. And if you don't agree, like I said, you're free to leave, right? Anyway, when it comes to marriage, right, there's some things I had to learn along the way, as I'm still learning. I'm a newly married guy. I've only been married for 7 going on 8 months. And I still have a lot to learn. But granted, I am not a spring chicken. I am not new to life. I'll be 40 years old in April. And I learned a lot about life along the way. I've learned a lot from my experiences and also the experiences of others. So I'll share with what I believe and what I know to be true. These days, a lot of people are getting married for the wrong reasons. We get married, and for some reason, I guess when you hear the for better or for worse part, we tune out the for worse. We tune out in sickness. We tune out for poor. We tune those things out. We expect marriage to be this fairy tale of a life. In some cases, that may be the case sometimes. But most of us, we know that's not the case. Marriage is not a fairy tale. Marriage is real. It's difficult. It's not for everybody. But for those who choose that they want to get married, understand what comes with that. Number 1, you can't be selfish. Number 2, you can't be a quitter. And number 3, when you're going through issues, which you will have issues, you have to be resilient. Figure it out. That's the one thing I learned when I first got married. Because, like, let me share with y'all something, man. So when I first got married, right, within the first couple of months, my wife and I had a pretty heated argument, which happens. You know, you have arguments, you have disagreements. And, excuse me, that was the first time in my life that I was in a situation where I couldn't just walk away, because I was used to doing that for so long. Like when I was dating before I got married, I was so accustomed to being able to walk away or telling that person to leave my space. Like, hey, I had enough of you for one day. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you next week, or whenever we see each other again. I can't take you right now, right? Hey, I remember when I first had an argument with my wife, and I found myself in my own space at that particular time. I was by myself, and I'm sitting here frustrated. And the first thing that I'll never forget, I literally heard an audible voice in my head saying, "Welcome to marriage." Welcome to marriage, bro. Because I'm thinking, man, like, what's going on? Blah, blah. I didn't sign up for this. And the first thought that hit my head was, bro, welcome to marriage. Figure it out. And that's what we did. Figured it out. You know, a lot of times, a lot of people, man, they let society tell them what they should and should not be dealing with in a marriage. You let too many people into your marriage business, and you let too many of the wrong people tell you what you should and should not be doing and tolerating. And that's number 1. Like, I don't ever involve anybody in my marriage business. That's detrimental to a marriage. You giving Satan an opportunity to work in your marriage when you invite outsiders in your business. Now, granted, I'm not saying it's not cool to get counsel, wise counsel, godly counsel, people who are married, people who've had the experience of being married, people who can give you sound, godly wisdom. That's who you want to listen to. These people that y'all listen to sometimes, these single friends of yours who don't have any idea what marriage is about, who don't have a husband of their own or a wife of their own, and telling you how to operate in your marriage, you're failing by doing that. Don't invite any outsider in your marriage, your marital business, that don't have the experience of being married. Number one thing I learned. And also, we walk into marriage with a carnal mindset. We are too shallow-minded. You can't be shallow in marriage. Another thing I learned. Your wife, your husband, they're not always going to be that person that you perceive them to be in the beginning, later on down the road. Things are going to change. And you have to be willing to accept that. Things are going to change. That's what separates the weak from the strong. What are you going to do when things get tough? What are you going to do when your wife puts on a few pounds? Or your husband is going through something and he's not emotionally available? What are you going to do then? What are you going to do if your husband loses his job? What are you going to do then? You going to quit? That's not what you signed up to do. You signed up to be there for better or for worse, for richer or poor, in sickness and in health, till death do you part. Stop listening to society's standards about what marriage is supposed to be like, because the world, this satanic world, their advice is not conducive to a healthy, happy marriage. It isn't. Stop listening to that nonsense. If you want to know how to navigate yourself through a marriage, you got to seek the Most High, man. You got to. Because marriage is something that it takes God to help you through it. Because as humans, our flesh will get tired. Our flesh will grow frustrated. Our flesh will be ready to throw in the towel and give up. That's why you need spiritual resurgence. You need God to help you through those tough times, because marriage is a supernatural covenant. That takes supernatural in order to be able to love somebody for the rest of your life. Because let's be real, man is sinful. We're sinful beings. We lustful. We want other people. We want to do other things. We're selfish by nature. We are sinful creatures. So in order to overcome those things, one thing I learned is that I needed to have the Most High in my marriage, because when I want to give up, when I feel frustrated, when I feel like, man, what am I getting into? God, He refreshes everything. And that's something that I'm still learning. That's something that I definitely realized early on in my marriage, is that this is going to work. I can't do this by my own strength. I can't. Nobody can. And so when you say you want to get married, ask yourself this question. Why? Are you doing it for the show? Are you doing it just to say, oh, I got a ring on my finger? Are you doing it because of society's pressures? Are you doing it because your family members are pressuring you? Or you need to be married by now? First off, there's no law in remaining unmarried. There's no rule against that. If you decide to remain unmarried, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you choose to get married, understand what that comes with. Now, for those who are undergoing any type of abuse or had their partner commit adultery, I'm not going to speak on that. Because adultery, that's a hard one to come back from. If that was ever a case in my marriage, I already know I'm not dealing with that. I'm out. Physical abuse, I don't know. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I wouldn't condone anybody staying in that scenario if you actually fear for your life. Your partner is making you feel threatened, making you feel unsafe. That's not healthy at all. So I wouldn't sit here and say to sit there and deal with that. Now, am I saying that's a grounds to quit? I wouldn't say that either. But maybe perhaps you need to separate from your partner for a while until things can get sorted out. But some people may disagree with that. Like I said, for better or for worse. There's no law against getting separated for a little while. But even in separation, that does not mean you have the freedom to date other people. Separated does not mean divorced. It does not mean that. But anyway, in saying all of that, I just wanted to share with you guys that, man, like, understand what you're getting yourself into when you get married. It's not for everybody. It's definitely not for the weak. It's not for the weak. You know, and you have to stop allowing these outer entities, these outside distractions into your marriage. The worst thing you can do, as I already said, is allow an outsider that knows nothing about marriage into your marital business. Keep your nosy friends out of it. Keep your nosy sister, your auntie, they're miserable. They're not miserable, probably been divorced 3 times. What do they know to tell you about a healthy marriage? They ain't have one themselves. Or your friend, one of your friends who's jealous because they didn't get married. So they want to tell you, they want to feed you toxicity in order for you to be just like them. Don't do that. Keep your marital business between you and your spouse. And if you do decide to get some help, make sure it's from somebody who understands and who has a successful marriage of their own. But anyway, I'd love to read some comments on this topic. So feel free to hit me up in the comment section about this. About this. And don't forget to hit the like button, show your support, and subscribe if you ain't subscribed already, man. But let's talk about it, y'all. I'm waiting. Until next time, I love y'all. Y'all take care, man. Big Mike checking out. Peace.